Hi, this is Adam Kokesh coming to you from Salem, Missouri. Last night we were at the Missouri State Campaign for Liberty meeting in Jefferson City. Had a great time there, so thank you to all the great activists that invited me to participate and put that together. On our way out here, we also stopped by Norman, Oklahoma to meet with R.J. Harris, who's running for Congress in Oklahoma's 4th District. Very excited to talk to him about messaging and all the plans he's got going on for his campaign. And speaking of which, I hope you'll support him on Friday, June 19th for his money bomb when he marks the day that Washington led the troops out of Valley Forge. So money bomb June 19th, rjharris2010.com. We're also on our way to Washington, D.C. Tuesday we'll be meeting with Ron Paul to get some more advice from him. It's very exciting to know that he's in our corner and helping us out. Hopefully we'll be meeting with Dennis Kucinich as well. We've also got meetings planned with Ralph Nader and Mike Ravel, who are all very excited about what we have going on here. Just this last week in Santa Fe, we had our regular Revolutionary Readings monthly book club, and this month we read Web of Debt by Ellen Brown. Fascinating read, but more importantly was the discussion that we had. There was really cool to see so many people who are intellectually engaged, willing to come together around issues that are really affecting society today in ways that most people don't understand. And one of the things we were talking about that I think is largely forgotten in the debate about monetary policy, even when we're talking about the Federal Reserve, is getting back to that fundamental question of what is money. And when we work and have jobs and exchange our labor for money, we're really exchanging for something that is supposed to be of value as a medium of exchange. And as such, it's nothing more than any other good or service in society. And what we've done with the Federal Reserve is create a government-sanctioned monopoly on the printing of money and the creation of a medium of exchange, because that system has been imposed on us not just by the creation of the Federal Reserve, but the confiscation of gold and the imposition of legal tender laws that prevent us from creating competing currencies. As we saw recently, the people who have put together the Liberty Dollar were all arrested, but also we have things like the American Open Currency Standard, where people are getting together to create alternate means of having a medium of exchange that is based on honest money. Now, one of the things that Ellen Brown talked about, and this was in an essay that I read recently from her, was the difference between what the Weimars did versus what happened after their dollar crashed, or rather their mark crashed to the tune of about going down to a trillionth of the value. I mean, that's incredibly an incredible loss of value to even conceive of. But it's important to remember that it's not because they printed 1 trillion times more marks, it's because they opened up their currency to speculation. And what happened after the Weimars were out of power was that they printed money and used it to take over the economy in such a way that actually did some temporary good, but still led to linear inflation. Now, the problem with Ellen Brown's theories is that she believes that from that lesson you can print money and have the government take over sectors of the economy and have it still be good. And maybe what happened after the Weimars was good for a little bit economically by comparison. But what she does understand, and what she points out very, very clearly, is that both types of fiat currency, speculative and less speculative and a controlled currency, both lead to inflation. And so people will look at that and say, well, it's okay what our government is doing today, taking over or government now Motors and various other sections of the economy, because it's only going to lead to linear inflation, which is what we've been experiencing since 1913 anyways. But what we also have going on today is the kind of bailouts and funding of speculation that led to exponential inflation, and that's what really has me worried. We talk about the bailouts, the money that went to AIG and to various parts of the funding speculation, and particularly in the housing market with the Fannie and Freddie authorization, which is really up to $5 trillion that happened last year. We are facing both types of inflation, and that's really, really scary when you understand all the implications about that. And that's why I'm really happy to be supporting Ron Paul's H.R. 1207, his bill to audit the Fed. And just recently we even had Dennis Kucinich sign on to that as the symbolic 218th co-sponsor, which was very exciting. But our representative for New Mexico's 3rd District, Ben Ray Lujan, has yet to sign on to H.R. 1207. He's siding with the House Democratic leadership. I don't know what they're trying to hide, but obviously they're complicit with what the Federal Reserve is doing with it, which is a deceitful monetary policy that they're imposing on this entire country. I wish we had better representation, which is one of the reasons I'm looking to run for Congress to represent New Mexico's 3rd District. We're also doing a lot to get ready for our event coming up on Independence Day, 4th of July. Celebrate American Revolution. Been talking to a lot of exciting speakers, and we'll be releasing information about that shortly on the website. You can check that out. But one of the musical acts that we've already got signed on that I'm very excited about is Jordan Page. He's coming out all the way from Maryland, and he's going to be performing for us in Santa Fe. So instead of leaving with you with a quote, this week I'm going to leave you with a bit of his song, The War Machine.
Sacrifice yourself today, and don't think about getting in their way. Camouflaged in black and green, one more gear in the war machine.